But let's just settle into a nice, comfortable seated posture and have both feet flat on the floor, about a hip's width apart. And just feel the weight of the sensation of your feet in the floor, your sits bones in your chair. And align your shoulders with your hips and your ears with your shoulders. And imagine your spine is a beautiful string of pearls of light stretching from the base all the way up through the crown of the head and beyond. And just lengthen your spine. And then go to the crown of the head and just release any tension there. Relaxing the scalp and the forehead, the eyes, the back of the eyes, the nose, the cheeks, the area around the mouth. Relax the throat, the chest and the belly and all of your limbs. And then come to the sensation of the breath as you inhale and exhale. Be aware of the breath flowing in and out of the nostrils. And just be aware of the expansion of the chest cavity as you inhale, and then, it just kind of reduces as you exhale, contracts. Be aware of any distractions in your environment, so sounds outside of your place, maybe light, maybe any kind of noise, sound. And then, these distractions that we have in our room, sound, maybe, but also on our computer. So if you do have messages popping through from your phone onto your computer, or notifications coming through on your computer, can I suggest that for this hour you switch all of that off? If you haven't already. And then just be aware of what's going on in your mind this evening. Just allowing all the thoughts to arise and abide. Try not to judge what's in your mind. And try not to criticize your thoughts. Some space in between your thoughts. And then be aware of all the people of your life, your loved ones, your strangers, the ones you don't like so much. And be aware they can all change place at any time. They're all equal, and that they want to be happy, they don't want to suffer, and they all have this extraordinary capacity for a Buddha mind. So we think we'll do this meditation for all these people of our life, and by extension, all the sentient beings. So we think there is no negativity that can't be purified. And this purification process is basically a psychological one. We create negativity with our mind, so equally we can change it by creating positivity instead. And we start with this power of regret. So sincerely regret from the depths of your heart anything you have done to harm any living being on this day, in this life, and in all of our past lives. And think of specific actions of both your body and your speech. And then in general, regret all. And the reason to regret is based on this logic of karma. We experience everything due to our past karma, our past actions. And so having harmed others, we're going to experience suffering. So it makes sense to remove the karmic seeds before they ripen as future suffering for us. So think like this. I regret from the depths of my heart having harmed others with my body and my speech, having broken my vows because I do not want the future suffering. I'm sick of suffering. And also regret any anger, attachment, and the rest that are the cause of why we harm others, and then think, I'm sick of this suffering. And then think, well, what can I do about it? Whom can I turn to? So then we come to this power of reliance. So we turn to the Buddha, Vajrasattva, who we see as a doctor rather than a kind of a higher power, that we're going to be sort of prostrating to, or some kind of icon, or it's a relationship where you're seeking help. You're asking for assistance, and this is the medicine. So you imagine Vajrasattva above the crown of your head. You can also imagine this is the mind of your teacher manifesting in this form for your benefit. And he's made of this beautiful, radiant, blissful white light, sitting cross-legged on a white lotus and a moon cushion. He has this beautiful, radiant face, and his eyes are long and peaceful and full of love and compassion for you and all of those people of your life. And he has a beautiful, sweet red mouth. His hair is black and held up in a top knot. His arms are crossed at his heart, the left underneath the right. The left is holding a bell, representing wisdom, and the right is holding a vajra, which represents the indestructibility of compassion, and their being crossed represents the union of these two, and this symbolizes enlightenment itself, the development of infinite wisdom and infinite compassion. To the Buddha, the Dharma, and the Sangha, I go for refuge until I'm enlightened. By this practice of meditating on Guru Vajrasattva, may I reach Buddhahood so as to benefit all sentient beings. So in order to develop compassion, we need to rely upon other beings, the very beings we have harmed, and those who have harmed us, by developing compassion for them. So think particularly of people you've harmed recently and in the past, and then in general, all beings we've ever harmed since beginning this time. And then think about those who have harmed you and particularly have compassion for them, because the harm they've caused you is going to result in suffering for them sometime in the future. So make a strong aspiration to do this practice of purification for the sake of all these beings, and think, I must purify for their sake. And then we come to this power of remedy, and this is the medicine, doing the practice of purification. And we start with the body. So you imagine Vajrasattva very compassionately sends powerful white nectar, like coming out of a hose, quite forcefully from his heart, and it arcs around and enters your crown and pours into your entire body, filling you completely. And it keeps pouring into you until it forces out of the lower orifices all the harm you've ever done to any living being with your body in the form of inky liquid. And this pours out of you and disappears into space, not one atom left, as we recite the mantra again. And who was going to be first? Was it Christine? Christine, you go first. Okay.
Om Vajrasattva Samaya Madapalaya
Vajrasattva
Safatin
Dinapatita Didameva wa Sutukayameva wa
Mebawa
Supokayameva wa
Supaka
Anaraktameva wa Sawasidi Mipiyata Sawakamas.
Okay. Okay. Om Vajrasattva Samaya Madapalaya Vajrasattva Dena Patita Dito me bawa, Sutokaya me bawa, Supokaya me bawa, Anurakta me bawa, Sar City me Payata Sar Kama Sutsa me, Sisum Shiram Kuru Hu, Ha 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 Hu Bhagawan, Sar Tathagata Vajramame Mutta Vajrabaha Mahasamaya Sava Ahum Pe, Om Vajrasattva Samaya Malapalaya, Vajrasattva Dana Patita, Dito me bawa, Sutokaya me bawa, Supokaya me bawa, Anurakta me bawa, Sar City me Payata Sar Kama Sutsa me, Sisin Shiram Kuru Ha 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 Ho Bhagawan Sar Tata Gata Vajra Mame Mutta Vajra Baha Mahasamaya Sava Ahum Pe Om Vajrasattva Samaya Malapalaya Vajrasattva Dena Patita Dino Mevawa Sutokaya Mevawa Sipokaya Mevawa Anurakta Mevawa Sarasiti Mepayata Sarakama Sutta Me Sisam Shiram Kuru Ha 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 Ho Bhagawan Sar Tathagata Vajra Mame Mutta Vajra Baha Mahasamaya Sava Ahum Pe Om Vajrasattva Samaya Malapalaya Vajrasattva Dena Patita Dita Mebawa Sutokaya Mebawa Supokaya Mebawa Anurakta Mebawa Sarasiti Mepayasa Sarakama Sutta Me Sisam Shiram Kuru Ha 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 Ho Bhagawan Sar Tathagata Vajra Mame Mutta Vajra Bhava Mahasamaya Sava Ahum Pe Om Vajrasattva Samaya Malapalaya Vajrasattva Dena Patita Dina Mebawa, Sutokaya Mebawa, Supokaya Mebawa, Anurakta Mebawa, Sarasiti Mepayata Sarakama Sutta Me, Sisam Shiram Kuru Ha 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 Ho Bhagawan, Saratatha Gata Vajra Mame Mutta Vajra Baha Mahasamaya Sava Ahum Pe, Om Vajrasattva Samaya Malapalaya, Vajrasattva Dena Patita, Dina Mebawa, Sutokaya Mebawa, Supokaya Mebawa, Anurakta Mebawa, Sarasiti Mepayata Sarakama Sutta Me, Sisam Shiram Kuru Ha 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 Ho Bhagawan, Sar Tathagata Vajra Mame Mutta Vajra Baha Maha Samaya Sava Ahum Pe, Om Vajrasattva Samaya Malapalaya, Vajrasattva Dena Patita, Dita Mebawa, Sutokaya Mebawa, Supokaya Mebawa, Anurakta Mebawa, Sarasiti Mepayata Sarakama Sutta Me, Sisam Shiram Kuru Ha 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 Ho Bhagawan, Sar Tathagata Vajra Mame Mutta Vajra Bhava Mahasamaya Sava Ahum Pe.
So be delighted that all the harm you've ever done to any sentient being with your body is completely purified, and imagine there's no way you could do anything other than benefit others now with your body. And the next is the purification of our speech, and Vajrasattva very happily sends powerful nectar from his heart chakra, and it arcs around and quite forcefully enters your crown and fills your entire body, except this time forcing up to the top of your body all the negativity of your speech, and this overflows and disappears into space, not one atom left. So you imagine all the gossip and the harsh speech and the useless speech and lying, talking about people behind their backs, getting other people to agree with you. All of this is purified by this powerful nectar filling you as we recite the mantra. So Cynthia, I think you wanted to do it.
Yeah. Vajrasattva Samaya Manupalaya Vajrasattva Dhanapatita Dido me bhava Sutukaya me bhava Supukaya me bhava Anurato me bhava Sarasiddhi me prayatsa Savakarma sitsa me Sita Shiyam Kuruham Ha 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 Ho Bhagavan Sarvatata Vajramami Munsa Vajravama Mahasamaya Satu A Ve Om Vajrasattva Samaya Manupalaya Vajrasattva Dhanapatita Dido me bhava, sutukaya me bhava, supokaya me bhava, anurata me bhava, sarasiddhi me prayatsa savakarma sitsa me, sitanshiyam kuru hom, ha 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 ho bhagavan, sarvatata gata vajramami mutsa vajravama mahasamaya satu a om fe. Om Vajrasattva Samaya Manupalaya Vajrasattva Dhanupatita Dido me bhava Sutukaya me bhava Supukaya me bhava Anurata me bhava Sarvasiddhi me prayatsa Sarvakarma sitsa me Sitanshiyam Kuruhum Ha 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 Ho Bhagavan Sarvatata Gata Vajramami Munsa Vajravava Mahasamaya Satu A Pe Vajrasattva Samaya Manupalaya Vajrasattva Dhanapatita Dido me bhava Sutukaya me bhava Supukaya me bhava Anurata me bhava Sarvasiddhi me prayatsa Sarva karma sitsame Sitam Shiyam Kuru Hom Ha 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 ho Bhagavan Sarva Tathagata Vajramami Mansa Vajrabhava Mahasamaya Satu Om Ve Vajrasattva Samaya Manupalaya Vajrasattva Dhanapatita Dido me bhava Sutukaya me bhava Supukaya me bhava Anurata me bhava Sarvasiddhi me prayatsa Sarva karma sitsame Sitam Shiyam Kuru Hum Ha 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 ho Bhagavan Sarva Tathagata Vajramami Mansa Vajrabhava Mahasamaya Satu Om Ve Vajrasattva Samaya Manupalaya Vajrasattva Dhanapatita Dido me bhava Sutukaya me bhava Supukaya me bhava Anurata me bhava Sarvasiddhi me prayatsa Sarva karma sitsame Sita Shiyam Kuru Hum Ha 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 ho Bhagavan Sarva Tathagata Vajramami Mansa Vajrabhava Mahasamaya Satu Om Ve Vajrasattva Samaya Manupalaya Vajrasattva Dhanapatita Dido me bhava Sutukaya me bhava Supukaya me bhava Anurata me bhava Sarvasiddhi me prayatsa Sarva karma sitsame Sitam Shiyam Kuru Hum Ha 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 ho Bhagavan Sarva Tathagata Vajramami Mansa Vajrabhava Mahasamaya Satu Om Ve.
Imagine how delighted, be very happy that your speech is now completely purified, and imagine it's not possible to do anything but benefit others with your speech. And now our mind, and Vajrasattva very compassionately sends powerful beams of light from his heart chakra, and this arcs around and enters your crown and fills your entire being. So instantly, the moment the light from Vajrasattva's heart hits your heart chakra, all the darkness of the negativity of your mind, all your attachment, neediness, bitterness, grudges, anger, disappointment, jealousy, all of this instantly dispelled, not one atom left, as we recite the mantra. Shayla, do you want to go ahead, and then Nim and Afisha can do the imprints?
Om Vajrasattva Samaya
Samaya
Manupalaya
Manupalaya
Vajrasattva
Vajrasattva Dina
Dinopatita
Patita Dina
Dinopatita
Mebawa
Dido Mebawa Sutokayo Mebawa Supokayo Mebawa Anarekta Mebawa Sawa City Mipiyata Sawa Kama Sutra Me Sitam Shriyam Kuruhum Ha 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 Ho Bhagawan Sawa Tata Gata Vajramame Mutsa Vajrabawa Maha Samaya Tsafa Ahum Pe Om Vajrasattva Samaya Manupalaya Vajrasattva Denopatita Dido Mebawa Sutokayo Mebawa Supokayo Mebawa Anarekta Mebawa Sawa City Me Priyata Sawa Kama Sutra Me Sitam Shriyam Kuruhum Ha 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 Ho Bhagawan Sawa Tata Gata Vajramame Mutsa Vajrabawa Maha Samaya Tsafa Ahum Pe Om Vajrasattva Samaya Manupalaya Vajrasattva Denopatita Dido Mebawa Sutokaya Mebawa Supokayo Mebawa Anarekta Mebawa Sawa City Me Priyata Sawa Kama Sutra Me Sitam Shriyam Kuruhum Ha 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 Ho Bhagawan Sawa Tata Gata Vajramame Mutsa Vajrabawa Maha Samaya Tsafa Ahum Pe Om Vajrasattva Samaya Manupalaya Vajrasattva Denopatita Dido Mebawa, Sitokayo Mebawa, Supokayo Mebawa, Anarekta Mebawa, Sawa City Mebuyasa Sawa Kama Sutra Me, Sitam Shriyam Kuruhum, Ha 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 Ho, Bhagawan, Sawa Tata Gata Vajramame Mutsa Vajrabawa Maha Samaya Tapa Ahum Pe. Om Vajrasattva Samaya Manupalaya Vajrasattva Deno Patita Dido Mebawa, Sutokayo Mebawa, Supokayo Mebawa, Anarekta Mebawa, Sawa City Me Priyata Sawa Kama Sutra Me, Sitam Shriyam Kuruhum, Ha 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 Ho, Bhagawan, Sawa Tata Gata Vajramame Mutsa Vajrabawa Maha Samaya Tapa Ahum Pe. Om Vajrasattva Samaya Manupalaya Vajrasattva Deno Patita Dido Mebawa, Sutokayo Mebawa, Supokayo Mebawa, Anarekta Mebawa, Sawa City Me Priyata Sawa Kama Sutra Me, Sitam Shriyam Kuruhum, Ha 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 Ho, Bhagawan, Sawa Tata Gata Vajramame Mutsa Vajrabawa Maha Samaya Tapa Ahum Pe. Om Vajrasattva Samaya Manupalaya Vajrasattva Deno Patita Dido Mebawa, Sutokayo Mebawa, Supokayo Mebawa, Anarekta Mebawa, Sawa City Me Priyata Sawa Kama Sutra Me, Sitam Shriyam Kuruhum, Ha 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 Ho, Bhagawan, Sawa Tata Gata Vajra Me Mutta Vajra Bawa Maha Samayata Pa Ahum Pe.
So be delighted again, all your delusions, which are the source of all of our own suffering, and the cause of why we harm others with our body and our speech, are completely purified, and think that there's no space in your heart now for anything other than love and kindness and forgiveness and wisdom and bliss and compassion. So now even the imprints of negativity of our body, speech, and mind, and you imagine Vajrasattva sends light and nectar, and the nectar pours down, pushing out all the negativities of the body, and then pushes up all the negativity of the speech, and then the light comes and just, removes all the delusions. So this way you eradicate even the subtlest imprints of negative energy from your consciousness. So Nim and Afisha, go ahead.
Sato Samaya Manipalaya Vajrasato Tenapata Didameva Sutokaya Masidi Vipaya Sasava Kamasame Tisashia Kuruhum Ha Ho Bhagavan Sabatata Gata Vajramami Muntavajrabavam Samaya Sato Ha Hum Pe Om Vajrasato Samaya Manipalaya Vajrasato Tenapatita Didameva Sutokaya Mebawa Supakaya Mebawa Anurata Mebawa Savasidi Vipaya Sasava Kamasame Tisashia Kuruhum Ha Ho Bhagavan Savatata Gata Vajramami Muntavajrabavam Samaya Sato Ahum Pe Om Vajrasato Samaya Manupalaya Vajrasato Tenopatita Dida Mebawa Sutokaya Mebawa Supakaya Mebawa Anurata Mebawa Savasidi Mepayatsa Savakamatsu Same Tisashia Kuruhum Ha Ho Bhagavan Savatata Gata Vajramami Muntavajrabavam Samaya Sato Ahum Pe Om Vajrasato Samaya Manupalaya Vajrasato Tenopatita Dida Mebawa Sutokaya Mebawa Supakaya Mebawa Anurata Mebawa Savasidi Mepayatsa Savakamatsu Same Tisashia Kuruhum Ha Ho Bhagavan Savatata Gata Vajramami Muntavajrabavam Samaya Sato Ahum Pe Om Vajrasato Samaya Manupalaya Vajrasato Tenopatita Dida Mebawa Sutokaya Mebawa Supakaya Mebawa Anurata Mebawa Savasidi Mepayasa Savakamatsu Same Tisashia Kuruhum Ha Ho Bhagavan Savatata Gata Vajramami Muntavajrabavam Samaya Sato Ahum Pe Om Vajrasato Samaya Manupalaya Vajrasato Tenopatita Dida Mebawa Sutokaya Mebawa Supakaya Mebawa Anurata Mebawa Savasidi Mepayatsa Savakamatsu Same Tisashia Kuruhum Ha Ho Bhagavan Savatata Gata Vajramami Muntavajrabavam Samaya Sato Ahum Pe Om Vajrasato Samaya Manupalaya Vajrasato Denopatita Dida Mebawa Sutokaya Mebawa Supakaya Mebawa Rakshmi Baba Savasidi Mepayata Sapakamatsu Same Tisashia Kuruhum Ha Ho Bhagavan Savatata Gata Vajramami Savajrabhava Samaya Sato Ahum Pe.
You all fall apart there for a minute. All right. Now feel completely, you're completely purified. There's not one atom of negativity left in your mind stream. Even the subtlest obscurations to your enlightenment have been removed. And now the power of resolve, and this is the fourth and final step in the purification process. And it's a really crucial one. This is this determination to refrain from harming with our body and our speech and our mind. And without this, we're going to keep doing the same old things over and over again. So this determination, this aspiration to refrain from harming is like a beacon that guides our body and our speech and our mind in new directions. So remember, Rinpoche would talk about everything being existing on the tip of the wishes. He would say, he wouldn't say wish, he would say wishes. And, you know, so you have to want to do this. You have to want to, you've got to make a decision. So rejoice in your efforts for coming along, and then think of something you'd like to work on. Just decide on one thing between now and tomorrow. And then we don't kind of lie to ourselves and go, oh, I'm going to do this whole thing all day tomorrow. And then we just don't. So best thing is just to pull it right back to do something that's manageable. And then imagine Vajrasattva is delighted with us and wants to merge with your mind and melts into white light and absorbs into you through your crown. And think, my teacher's body, speech, and mind, Vajrasattva's body, speech, and mind, and my own body, speech, and mind are the same. And then Rinpoche would say to meditate a little bit on emptiness. So in emptiness, there is no I, the creator of negative karma. There is no action of creating negative karma. And there is no negative karma created. So just place your mind in that emptiness for a little while. We can think of all phenomena as being empty. They do not exist from their own side. You can also think that the way things appear to me may not necessarily be the way they actually exist. So let's just dedicate all the merit, all the positive energy you've created doing this practice to all living beings, and think, may all the virtuous karma I've created from doing this practice ripen as my enlightenment for the sake of sentient beings as quickly as possible. So let's just do our chanting the names of Manjushri. Abiding object free through all perceptions, with consciousness as object, with cessation, with every being the object of his mind, with knowledge that's the mind of all the Buddhas, residing in the mind of every being, having become their mind's equality, and satisfying the mind of every being, he is for every being great inner joy. Confusion free regarding points of doctrine, completely free from error in all its forms, his thinking free from doubt, his object threefold, his object all three properties by nature. Okay, Shayla, thank you so much. And lots of love, everybody. Let's have a strong wish for His Holiness the Dalai Lama to live long, and for a swift return of our precious, well, a swift discovery at some point of our precious Lama Zopa Rinpoche, and then for all of your own individual teachers to live long. And then, of course, you might be wondering where Judith is these days, but I'm still a little bit sick, so I didn't want to go in there to her facility tonight with a cold, and then she can't hear me if I have a face mask on. So I just thought probably I'll just better stay at home. So I'm hoping to go in on Friday, so you guys will get to see her again. All right, everyone. Lots of love. Good night. Take care. Sleep well. I will see you tomorrow. For those of you here in the West Coast, it's going to be pouring with rain tomorrow. So, in fact, I think it may have even started. So do drive carefully, everyone. All right. Lots of love. Bye-bye.